Tales Verser. Let me start with something uncomfortable. Poor people and rich people do not live in different financial realities. They live in different psychological realities. And here is the part nobody wants to hear. Your bank account does not decide which reality you live in. Your nervous system does. Most people think poverty makes decision-making hard, but the truth is darker. Scarcity changes how your brain predicts the future. It turns every choice into a potential disaster. And disaster thinking kills opportunity long before circumstance does. Rich people do not make better choices because they are smarter. They make better choices because they are less afraid. Their nervous system believes the world will catch them. Yours believes the world will let you fall. And here is the part nobody wants to hear. You can retrain that decision-making pattern even before your finances change. There is an idea from behavioral psychology called cognitive distancing. When you step away from the immediate panic of the moment and make decisions as if you were someone else. It sounds simple, almost naive, but it changes the entire architecture of your thinking. When you are poor, your brain wants to choose the option that feels safe now. When you think like the rich, your brain chooses the option that feels safe later. And the distance between now and later is where your future lives. So here is the first truth. You cannot make strong decisions when your nervous system is in survival mode. You have to calm the body before you can correct the mind. A simple trick proven in studies from Stanford and UCLA is to pause for 90 seconds. Just 90. Because emotions follow a biochemical cycle that dissolves after 90 seconds if you don't feed them with thoughts. You give the fear time to burn off. You make space for reasoning, the thing scarcity usually suffocates. Then you ask the question rich people unconsciously ask every day. If nothing bad happened, which option would I choose? This question bypasses the fear circuitry. It forces the brain to stop calculating disaster and start calculating potential. It's not delusion, it's simulation. The same mental tool used by entrepreneurs, investors, and anyone who moves toward possibility, instead of hiding from risk. Let's go deeper. When you are poor, decision-making is short-term. Not by choice, by necessity. Your future becomes a luxury you think you can't afford. But research from Duke University shows something surprising. Long-term thinking does not require money. Long-term thinking creates money. People who can project themselves even slightly into the future, not 20 years, not 10, just 6 months, they tend to make decisions that lift them out of scarcity faster. Here's the second tool backed by behavioral economics. Ask, what decision would future me think me for? Not rich you, not ideal you, just future you. The version of you who is tired but still trying. This small shift activates a cognitive mechanism called prospective thinking. The same mechanism wealthy people use subconsciously because they grew up believing the future is real and reachable. Let's keep spiraling deeper. When the mind is flooded with stress, the brain narrows its choices. Not metaphorically, literally. The prefrontal cortex shuts down. You lose your ability to evaluate options, delay gratification, or imagine alternatives. That's why scarcity makes you feel stuck. To think like someone with resources, you need to borrow the one resource money can't buy: mental distance. Here's a tool used in cognitive therapy, elite performance psychology, and financial decision training. Pretend you are advising a friend, not yourself, a friend. Because people in survival mode make better decisions for others than for themselves. Your compassion is clearer than your fear. Ask, if my friend faced this exact situation, what would I tell them to do? Suddenly the fog lifts. You become rational, strategic, even bold, because you stepped outside your own panic. This is how you borrow the mindset of wealth without owning any. Another truth, rich decisions are made slowly. Poor decisions are made quickly. When life has taught you that waiting is dangerous, you move fast. When life has taught you that waiting is safe, you move thoughtfully. So here's another science-backed tool. Force a delay. Even a 10-minute pause changes your risk assessment. Your emotions cool. Your prefrontal cortex lights back up. You regain the ability to think beyond the emergency, even when your life feels like one. And now, Talesverser, let's uncover the core of it all. How do you think like someone who can bounce back, even if your life has never given you that luxury? You borrow one simple belief. Something will come after this. That one sentence has pulled people out of poverty, addiction, crisis, heartbreak, and despair. Because when your mind believes there's a future, your decisions start feeding it. You stop choosing escape. You start choosing foundation. You stop choosing relief. You start choosing leverage. You stop choosing the smallest fear. You start choosing the smallest hope. And slowly, painfully, imperfectly, your decisions stop being survival moves and start becoming strategic moves. You don't need to be rich to think like the rich. You just need to stop letting fear pretend it's wisdom. Make space. Make distance. Make time. And then choose from the version of you who is not drowning. That's where your future begins. So tell me, with everything you've lived through, which mindset do you think you've been using lately? And that's a wrap, my dear friends. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time, stay awesome.